One. Hey. Welcome. UndR Dog episode number 14.
Ooh.
Ooh. Long way
we
coming.
love consistency. We love a consistent Kings.
I appreciate that. Today, we have a special guest in the building, Miss Nkiruka Azuka. I pronounced your name correctly. I didn't butcher it, did I?
Why would you say that now? You should have just went with it. You had it right. You had it right. Now you just expose yourself for what?
Well, let me start over. Let me do it again. Today on UndR Dog, we have our special guest, Nkiruka Azuka, the one and only thrill seeker, amateur world traveler, professional food taster. Drum roll.
All that. I love how you read my Instagram bio. I'm like, how do you know so much about me? Wait, I said 7 hours.
I was thinking, how am I going to introduce her today? I was like, that's the perfect intro.
No, it worked out.
So tell the people a little bit about yourself, for those who don't know you.
Okay. Well, like he said, my name's Nkiruka Azuka. I am a journalist in Las Vegas, Nevada. I live here in the heat. And yes, people do live in Vegas. I know people always are surprised by that. You can see that might happen a couple times. My phone is not really sturdy.
No, you're okay.
But yeah, so like I'm a journalist here. I've been living here for about a year and a half. This is not my first job in news. I actually worked as a reporter in Arkansas and then made the move to Vegas here. Like you said, I'm a foodie. I love to travel. I'm a Pisces. And I like all the good things in life.
That's what's up. Thank you for doing this again. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for thinking of me. I'm excited. Even though I told you I don't know a lot about the sports. I know a little bit. I don't know too much about it, but I'm gonna do my best.
Okay. All right. So speaking of working as a reporter and in Arkansas and in Las Vegas now, how do you feel about working for big media?
The thing is, I wouldn't say I don't necessarily work for big media. I would consider big media like the national outlets. I work for local news, and that is really where I like to stay. So, because people always like, because I tell them, because I work for a Fox affiliate. In my last market, I worked for an NBC and Fox affiliate. We had both. And people always like, oh, you work for Fox 5, and they kind of look at me sideways. And it's like, no, I don't. That Fox that you be hearing all the outlandish stuff, I don't do that one. But I do work for a local Fox. So they're different. They're different entities. But being on such a public platform, it's interesting. I'll say that. It's very interesting. The fact that you are on a spotlight literally every day you go to work, going to Walmart or the grocery store, and people are saying your name across the thing when you look busted with no wig on and just looking crazy. And now
pronouncing your name?
Some of them do. I've heard some interesting little remixes, but for the most part, most of them get it right.
That's what's up.
It's a learning curve. We're figuring it out. So yeah, I think I like to say that I don't work a normal job, and I like that. But this isn't something I can see myself doing forever. But for the meantime, it's pretty cool.
So you mentioned, working for Fox 5 and how, the negative connotations that's associated with that. How do you deal with that on a regular basis? Do a lot of people ask you, families ask you, friends?
No, I think
about that viewpoint. Go ahead.
No, when I first started working news, I started working news about almost 4 years ago now. And that was a thing that people didn't really understand. Like people in my circle, they didn't really get it because I didn't really understand it either. Like I said, my path into news was, it wasn't really typical. I wasn't the girl that always wanted to be a reporter. I wasn't the girl that always wanted to be on the news. So it kind of like I was learning along the way. So when I learned, I taught people. Now my people understand. It's like, okay, she don't work for that Fox. She just works for a Fox, and it's completely different.
Got you. Okay. You mentioned that
try and cancel you.
What was that?
They're gonna try and catch just because Fox is like a bad word in the community.
they don't try. They done try, but I be telling them, it's like, yo, like, I don't know them. I don't know those people. I'm over here. We're not doing that here.
That's what's up. You mentioned that you work in Vegas now, or you live in Vegas now. I saw on your Instagram that you covered the draft.
I did.
Experience like, how was that exposure?
Okay, because the draft was so big, all of us, we were in different teams and we covered different aspects. So I didn't cover the draft itself. I covered the fan experience. So I got to cover the part that, people got to come out, they get to do different games, like run like the athletes do, jump like the athletes do. It was a really fun activity, family friendly. So that was really cool. But even just being in the city where the draft was happening, because this is something we've been talking about for years now. So we've been preparing for a long time now. And so it was so cool seeing fans from all over. Like when I was at the fan experience, I literally saw every single jersey from all 32 teams, and just having them all in one place. People were so excited about this draft. I didn't understand the big deal of it until it's like, oh, okay, I see why people really are down for this like that. And so it was exciting to be in the city, to be around it. I didn't go to the draft myself, but even just like, you just felt it like in the city, like you felt the buzz. People were so excited, and it was a really fun thing to cover.
That's awesome. Can you see yourself covering more sports?
No. Not the sports itself directly, because we have a sports team, right? So they're the ones who cover all the Raiders stuff, the Golden Knights stuff, the Silver Knights stuff.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Did I say that word?
No, you said Raiders. I'm sorry. It's a reflex. I apologize.
Oh, what's your team?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, did y'all flub your Super Bowl chances like pretty early on last year?
No,
this past year?
No, we went 9-1 on that back 10. I remember that.
But you didn't play
AFC Championship game. We're gonna be all right.
Okay.
Y'all just make sure y'all get all those traffic situations on the Raiders figured out.
The traffic situation?
Yeah, man, they gotta slow down.
Listen, I don't know nothing about that, but I know neither of my teams made it to the Super Bowl. But this year, it's a new year. I'm hearing great things about the Raiders this year. But
I said it. Everybody want to talk about the Chargers and the Broncos. I think the Raiders is going to be the team that steps up.
Really?
Yeah.
And let's hope so. I would love to be the coach, but we won't go there today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a big news day when that happened. Mm-hmm. It was good. And then the president just got fired. It's a lot going on.
Raiders gonna raid. But if you don't want to do more sports, what aspirations in the future do you have?
My idea would be to be, because right now I'm a morning reporter, but I would love to be like on the desk. So like right now I'm out in the field, for anyone who doesn't like understand the lingo. Right now I'm out in the field, but I would love to be on the desk, like, because that's like the natural next step of news. Like once you've been reporting for a little bit, then you get on the desk and you anchor. So that's really my ultimate goal. And I feel like I want to stay in morning news, in local news. I don't really feel the need to go national. Like I'm good here. So that's kind of where I'd like to end up. And my contract's up in a few months here. So I don't know what the next few months is gonna look like, but we're gonna see.
I have to say I love the little 2 minutes recap of how you start your day going into the news and the background behind that. Did you engineer that yourself? Or is that something they told you to do? I think that's really dope.
No, I did that myself. It was just one thing. I literally just woke up one day. I'm like, why don't I just document my day? Like it could be kind of fun, because I know people, because I've been doing news for, like I said, for 4 years. So it was kind of old for me at this point. Mm-hmm. But I know for a lot of people, it's cool because they don't know how it works. I'm like, well, shoot, let me show and show how it goes. So I did take a little bit of a hiatus because it does take some work. Even though it's only 30 seconds, it takes a lot of work to put that all together. And my day starts at 3:30 every day, so I be tired. And the last thing I want to do after my shift is start putting stuff together. But for the exciting story, I'm gonna go back to that because I hear that people actually like it. So it's like, all right, bet. Well, I guess we just gonna keep doing this.
That's good. Let's touch a little bit on the sports. I know you said that's not really your forte. If you had to pick an underdog, because I asked this question of everybody that comes on the show, who is your underdog?
Okay. So when the Dallas Phoenix game was happening last week, my coworker was shocked because it was basically a blowout in favor of Dallas, and that was unexpected, especially because it was in Phoenix. So I think since they were the underdog, I'm gonna just go with that. I'm gonna just go with that. I feel like they're the ones that are gonna come out of left and surprise everybody since they've already done it. So they're
not losing to Golden State, but
hear that, Bola?
They're not losing. You don't see the shirt, man. They're not losing to Golden State.
You said they're not losing to Golden State?
No, they are going to lose.
Oh, I mean, when is that game?
They're playing right now.
Oh.
As we speak. The score is currently...
He's watching it, trust me.
Oh.
Yeah, Draymond Green just got a block, so we in good hands, man. We in good hands.
Okay. Well,
but I feel you on that. Dallas has come a long way. Luka's doing his thing by establishing himself as a force to be reckoned with. I think they have future aspirations of championship in that DNA, but their time is not yet, so we'll just leave it at that.
Okay. All right. For your sake, I hope the thing is I'm indifferent. Whoever wins is who I was cheering for the whole time.
I hear you. Sound like a bandwagon fan, but we'll give you that.
As hell. Absolutely. No shame in my game. I put myself behind winners, okay? I don't play that.
I hear you. Speaking of shame, every episode we like to do a segment called Shameless Plug, where we let our guests talk about anything that they're passionate about, whether it's a business, whether it's just a topic that they want to shed light on. Is there anything you want to talk about today?
Well, I do have an earring business that I started last year, or a couple years ago, actually. It's been a couple years. And so, and Bola, you were actually one of my first customers, and you bought a couple pairs for your wife, which was such an honor. It was so cool to be able to do that. So it's called Kira Creations. Here's one of my creations right here. I've actually been on, I've been on hiatus all over the place. I've been on hiatus for the past almost a year now, but I'm about to get back because, having a business and having a full-time job, it was a lot. And it was like, I need time to slow down and to learn what I want to do and perfect my craft. But we are going to be relaunching. It's me. I am going to be relaunching sometime in the next few weeks. And so I'm very excited about that. And so you can find me on Instagram at Kiru.creation.
Appreciate that.
No, appreciate you. Thank you guys for letting me come on your platform.
No problem.
Also,
no problem.
I just want to point out first female guest we ever had. So shout out. Definitely.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm here breaking my business up. But hopefully it's not the last female we'll have.
Never not the last.
Try to allow anybody that wants to feel comfortable to come on here and talk with us. So if you have any ideas, we'll take that, so.
I will keep that in mind. Y'all got to get the ones who are, because I'm not representing well for my fellow women right now. I'm looking like such a typical girl when it comes to sports. And I wish I was more versed in it. So y'all need to get like a real girl who really knows what she's talking about.
Will do. Before we let you go, before you leave us, I should say, if there's somebody watching that is looking up to you or looking to go in the same career field, or even just looking back at your own path, what advice would you give your younger self?
That's a good question. Well, I think that because I just turned 30 this year, so that something happened when I turned 30, like I unlocked something unlocked in me, and it was this idea to, it sounds so basic, but it really was profound to me, to not care what people think about you. Because when you are on your deathbed and you're going to think back at all the things you didn't do because you're worried about what people would say, you're going to be mad at yourself. Yeah. So that's why I do things that I'm uncomfortable with. I do things that are out of my comfort zone. And that's the one thing I want to tell myself, because my younger self played it so safe. I always played it safe. It's like, what are people going to think? What are people going to say? Who cares? Who cares? Because if I cared about what people think, or I cared about what people said to me, because being, like I said, on a public platform, people tell me what they think about me all the time, almost every day. I'm getting messages to my Instagram, to my Twitter, and they're not always very nice. But I can't let that stop me from doing what I need to do. And so I think it's easier said than done to say, you know, forget what everyone says and do you, but you literally have to do it, or else you're going to hold yourself back. So that's what I would tell my younger self. And that's what I would tell anyone who aspires to this kind of career, to this kind of lifestyle. And if anyone has any specific questions, feel free to reach out to me. I will tell you my path and how exactly I did it. And we can see if it works out for you too. Because I actually went and got my master's in journalism, because I didn't do this in undergrad. So I started off a little later than everybody else, but we still got here. Yeah,
mama, we made it.
We made it.
Again, thank you so much for doing this, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you. That's fun. It was nice to meet you.
Oh yeah, definitely nice to meet you too.
All right, bye, Bola.
I'm back to the sports, Drew. Where we at? Where we at, brother?
You know where we at, man. We got a lot going on right now. Got a lot going on. NBA playoffs live right now. The finals just started. Conference finals.
I still ain't seen the score yet. I'm waiting to see. I know Draymond 38-33. Dallas is down by 5.
2 possessions. It's gonna be a close game. These guys, they got a lot more in common than people really think as far as their scheme. Both jump shot dependent teams. I know that Luka's got his thing going, but you know, he's gotta play smart. He's got to play mistake free. And normally he doesn't make a lot of those mistakes. So, I mean, it is what it is. Other than that, the NFL schedule just got released on Thursday.
Oh, before you jump on that, speaking about free.
Oh, yes, please. Yeah.
What's going on with Britney Griner? Have they not freed her yet?
Apparently, they said they're going to keep her another month. But now the NBA is like officially working with like U.S. government, XYZ, to get her home. I think it's the House, but Silver came out and said that they really are trying to get her home now. She, like I said, the last time we talked about it, she has been, wrongfully detained, and hopefully they can get her home, man. We've been talking about that a while.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it's wrong. Hopefully we can just get her back, and she's just a pawn in a very big game going on right there. Shout out to anybody suffering from the real stuff that's going on. So.
And I meant to do this. Let's just take a second, speaking of suffering, to have a moment of silence for the victims of the horrible shooting that happened in Buffalo, man. We can stop there, man, but it's just a sad place that the world is in right now. I know this really isn't the platform to discuss things of that nature, but I can't see people who look like me hurting. Somebody that's old enough to be my grandmother, mother, brother, sister. All they did was go to a grocery store to go shopping, not knowing that would be the end of their lives. You know, it's sad. And then just seeing the media paint these shooters as mental illness victims, you know, and all this other
mental awareness month too. So they fly. Yeah. We've talked about it before. It's a very serious issue. You know what I'm saying? I got issues with friends and family. You know what I'm saying? We all have. Everybody been touched. I actually found out that the largest demographic with mental illness is 17 to 35-year-old Black males. So found that out recently, as well as I was just talking to my mother today about stuff like that, like how they be trying to shoot up stuff. Like back in our day, like the 90s, you know what I'm saying? They called it going postal because the only place that would really happen or people thought about stuff like that happening was the post office. I mean, so like, but ever since like Columbine, Virginia Tech, some of these other things, some of the movie theater stuff too. They've really kind of put a grip on that stuff, and you know how those kind of guys work. They work like Batman villains. They see one dude getting crazy, they're like, oh, I can out top him. I'm gonna get crazier. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's like you said, man, tough times, but it's like I said, man, prayers out to all the victims, and I hope the hand of God brings justice to all those devilish people, bro. Let's call them what they is.
yeah.
Yeah, man, flat out. But yeah, back to what we was talking about, man. NFL schedule release, man. I got some interesting info for you,
man. Before you go, the game that stuck out to me, and I was like, man, correct me if I'm wrong, but KC plays the Rams on Thanksgiving, and I'm like, that's a game I want to see.
I believe. I'm not sure if that'll be the first rematch since 2018.
Yeah,
in Estadio Azteca, the home of my Mexican soccer team, actually, Club America, Las Águilas, America. Bro, I'm telling you, it's gonna be interesting. I believe we go to LA.
Okay.
So new stadium. Same, not the exact same situations. They had Jared Goff back then. They beat us 54-51. But that might have been the year that we literally had the worst defense in Pat Mahomes' tenure. So, we'll see how it goes. We were supposed to see him this year in the Super Bowl, but for some reason, y'all tried to go to the flats with a 5'10" brother, and he got bodied by Eli Apple. But we ain't finna get into that. I'm gonna tell you how we're gonna get our revenge and all that other stuff. Most notable the first game, Thursday night. The first game is Bills Rams. That's crazy.
That's
to start off the season, that's absolutely crazy.
Because of the way it went into that overtime. I remember that, and there was all that controversy about whether or not both teams should get a chance to score as opposed to just the first team that scores and the game's over.
In 2018, I mean, they changed it, and that's the other thing we're going to talk about. We're going to be doing this podcast years from now, and I'm going to talk about all these rule changes that my brother Patrick Mahomes had to endure on his way to greatness. But in 2018, when we lost to Tom Brady, and Tom Brady benefited from it, we brought that up at the NFL owners meeting, and all 31 other teams, including those Bills, voted against it. So the fact that it, when it doesn't benefit the Chiefs is good, but to see then it's like, we have to do something about it. So it's like, whatever. Week 1, Monday Night Football. Russell Wilson has to go back to Seattle.
I saw that too. I was like, man, that's gonna be a good game. I don't like watching football, but I'm gonna watch all these games,
bro. Because normally you would be like, let him get his feet wet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like with that new team, you know what I'm saying? Jerry Jeudy got his little issues and da-da-da. They said, nope, you going right back to Seattle. Welcome home.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And we're going to see week 2, Thursday Night Football. We got the Chargers at home at Arrowhead. We actually start the season on the road, 3 out of 4 games. Our first 4 games are kind of intense. Cardinals, Chargers, Colts, which is going to be an interesting matchup in Lucas Oil with the new Matt Ryan team. Hopefully, it'll be early on in the year. He ain't going to be that good. Week 4.
Matty Ice, man. I don't know, man. Matty Ice.
No, I know. I mean, they're actually probably my dark horse.
And that's a cold town.
Bro, they are making the playoffs. I'm going to say this right here on the podcast. I think that the Colts are going to be a wild card. Or they're going to win the AFC South because I don't think Ryan Tannehill's legit. And if Derrick Henry can't stay healthy, it'll be the Colts. Week 4, Chiefs come to Tampa to get to the scene of the robbery. We get to come back and try to get a little revenge. Most people don't really highlight this on their sports shows. Tom Brady versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs have not only handed him the 2 worst losses of Bill Belichick's and Tom Brady's career, but we also broke his leg and cost him a season. Shout out to Bernard Pollard. I still see you, brother. As well as, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a real, like, they don't really talk about it because obviously his Super Bowl successes cannot be matched. Right. But the Chiefs have always given him a problem. So it should be interesting to see that. We get a Raiders early on. Week 6, the Bills do come to the Chiefs. And we see how that goes, see if they can get a little bit of revenge for these 2 losses, past 2 postseasons. After that, we get a rematch for the 49ers of Super Bowl 54 in San Francisco. Then the Titans come. Then the Jaguars come. Chargers and Rams, those games are going to be difficult. But then after that, we got Bengals, Broncos, Texans, Seahawks, Broncos again, Raiders. So I understand everybody's real worried. Nick Wright. I like to call him a colleague in the Chiefs camp. He has us going 12-5. I think we'll go 13-4. I don't really see. We'll probably drop one of the Chargers games. We'll probably drop the Rams game. Maybe one of the Broncos games, and then beyond that, maybe the Bills game. So I have us at 13-4. He has us at 12-5. But either way, we're either in the playoffs as the AFC West winners or wild card. So I'm interested. Also, for the first time in NFL history, the Chiefs' first 8 opponents had a winning record last season. That has never happened in a plus 100 years of this sport. So once again, just something else my brother got to overcome on a path to greatness. Y'all can keep hating and spectating, but I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Outside of that, we got, I think it's week 8. Carson Wentz and the Commanders have to come to Indianapolis. So that's a little rematch game. And then other than that, the 5 easiest schedules this season are going to be the entirety of the NFC East, which is the Eagles, Cowboys, Redskins, and Giants. And in 5th place is going to be the Detroit Lions. Another fact, based off winning records last season, the Rams have the official toughest schedule. But with the new additions to all these players and stuff like that, and the other metrics, the Chiefs actually have the hardest schedule, and it's one of the hardest schedules in the past 30 years. As well as our gap between the difficulty of the Rams schedule and then the 3rd place is almost double. So literally our schedule is a grade above everybody's, and I really can't wait, man. I really can't wait. Beyond that, man, we got some really clutch games. Patriots got to go to Miami week 1. You know how that go. They don't do too well. So we're going to see what happens with that. The Bears, man, the Bears actually have a good schedule, man. I root for y'all. Nick Wright has y'all going 11-6. I said 10-7. But either way, I think y'all will be in those playoffs and everything going to be all right. Might be a wild card. You know, the Packers probably going to get it. Some people have the Vikings slated in for that last spot, but I think it'll be the Saints who actually make that wild card spot because Tom Brady is probably going to be Tom Brady. I don't think he'll get more than 11 wins, but I don't think he's going to get less than 10 either. So another thing I heard on NFL Live is going to be the fact that apparently the NFL is considering switching to the draft lottery like the NBA. This way it can kind of prevent some of that tanking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To kind of make it more fun. And then it would just give everybody
I'm surprised that they haven't switched after all these years, man.
I mean, the draft is the draft. It's going to be set up how it's set up. You know what I'm saying? More things change than don't. So people should embrace stuff like that. But you already know. I think it'd be interesting, especially because my team's probably going to be pretty good for the next 10 to 15 years, injury pending. So I'd love a draft lottery because otherwise we're going to be swimming around these 29, 30s and lower probably for the rest of Pat Mahomes' career. So I like the draft lottery idea. And it's like Swagoo said, it'll just give us more stuff to talk about, you know, just another aspect to the game. So I feel like it could be interesting. We're going to switch to NBA a little bit, a lot of bit. Suns, man, you know, the Suns.
I mean, watching that game, man. And while we're on the topic, let me pull something up real quick.
Pulling up that Acho.
You know, like I don't know if they thought it was a given, you know.
I don't know. Like, bro, I used to watch, when old boy used to come in and play that synthesizer and show the Bulls coming through the tunnel back in the 90s. You think they would have been doing all that?
I don't know, man. I have no idea, but I'm surprised that they did it, is what I'll say. I can't believe they back here. They back here going on the dance off, man. And it's like all of them. But Chris Paul walks by and he don't even participate.
Oh, the fact that Dario Saric is standing there and he's even dressed out. And he's still in on it.
Is that again? Like they going all in. Look at this. Like to me, they weren't focused, man. They were too much on, oh, we got this. It's on our home court.
Bro.
We gonna win. It's a given, you know. And they got smacked, man. And he laughing at in your face. That's the most. He hitting shots and laughing in your face.
And I'm talking about, and I saw that post. It was Emmanuel Acho talking about he don't blame Chris Paul no more. And just seeing that, bro, I don't either. Because all them guys, if you really respected CP3 coming through and doing what he doing for y'all, like y'all would be locked in. And normally I hear that Chris Paul is like really, really like stern and like, you know, a lot of young guys think he rude, you know what I'm saying? Because like, but I don't know, man, if that's really how they came out. I guess that's why they had 26 points in the first half.
Yeah.
So, but
I can't see like anybody that's been in that situation where, you know, if we lose this game, we going in. Like the look LeBron had in one of them series where they say he looked like he was possessed. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no killer instinct. There was no
any other great scorers. Any of them, Mike, Kobe, LeBron, D Wade, like they all anybody. Like it's like that don't make no sense. I'm disappointed. Like Devin Booker was knocking on the door at Club Superstar. He back in line. You know what I'm saying? Like Cameron Payne, Bridges, they not looking right. Jay Crowder's not looking himself. Like apparently DeAndre Ayton and Monty Williams got into it. He had to sit down. I don't know why. You obviously play Ayton in that situation with the season he was having.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get that payday though, man.
Yeah, they were talking about that on ESPN today, whether he deserves a max or not. I think he does, and especially with how you have stuff going. Chris ain't gonna play forever, so you should want to lock in Book and Ayton. But you know, who knows? It's a wild league. I told you it's like football. So,
but like you said though, speaking of the max, a lot of talk has been on these little shows about whether or not Chris Paul or James Harden deserves the max, especially with how they performed in the playoffs.
No to both of them.
I agree 100%, man.
No offense to them. No offense to their games, their skill levels. They're two of the greatest guards ever played this game. I got respect for both of them. I love watching them both play. No.
I agree.
It's just a no. Like they still gonna get big contracts, yeah, but max, no.
You know, I was sitting there thinking to myself, I said, man, as much State Farm commercials that Chris Paul does,
that's another reason.
He needs to stop doing them State Farm commercials and start doing AARP commercials, man. Because as soon as he turned 37, man, he ain't got old, can't hit no shots, can't guard nobody.
Yeah, game 3 hit, it was a wrap.
Exactly. And then he's got this history of going up 2-0 and losing. They were listing all the times that it's happened with Chris Paul leading the team, whether it's when he was in Houston, whether it's when he was with the Clippers, New Orleans, like he's always falling short. And I see, you know, Patrick Beverley's point. They never really want to give him none of that smoke, man. They see Chris Paul as the choir boy because of how short he is, and he can't do no wrong, man. But to melt down like
no, it's that Cliff Paul.
Yeah,
they seem like Cliff Paul. That's all
that Cliff Paul.
It is what it is. You do the same thing to me, bro. I'd be like, bro, I don't need to see to whoop you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Be like, now, but that's me though. I agree with Pat Bev. They not them kind of guys. And like he said, somebody pushed me, the team going up.
Yep.
And I don't feel like that's the Suns. I feel like that's Jay Crowder. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's Jay Crowder, but I feel like everybody else is just handshaking in the back.
Yep.
Hate to see them go, but they will be back. I don't know if they should run it back with the same scheme, but we'll see how it goes. Other than that, Celtics, man, they handle business. I'm sorry, bro. They had to send our brother home.
I was looking at that game. I was so mad, man, because they came out first quarter. Buckets. They maintained the lead. I'm like, oh, man, the Bucks about to send them home again without Middleton. But it kind of just that game as it continued on, you realize how important Middleton is to that team, man. And then it even made me think about one of your players, PJ Tucker.
Yeah.
Like you realize how critical all of these little pieces are to the greatness of Giannis.
Yeah, man. Chris Middleton, aka Michael Redd Jr. he is the hit it or quit it guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like either he finna give you like 30, 25 to 30, or he gonna give you the solid 15. His floor is high and his ceiling is low, but it creates that pocket of consistency.
And what I noticed is whenever they needed a bucket when he was playing and nobody else could hit, it was give it to Middleton. He'll get us a bucket.
Giannis can't hit the create your shot. He can hit an open shot. But Middleton will get you off the dribble, spin you, do some things. And then shout out to Jrue Holiday, man. There was like a minute span in that series.
I remember that.
God, he had like a 2, a 3, a steal, a block, an assist.
He was trying his best.
Bro, he was trying. Yeah, so shout out to Jrue Holiday. I do think that he is the slept on of the three of that big three, but the Bucks do have a big three, and it's Middleton, Giannis, and Jrue Holiday. And when they hitting and Brook Lopez is healthy, they're dangerous. But
shout out to Brook Lopez too, man. He did his thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when that team's healthy and Bobby Portis, when them guys busting, it's hard to beat them. But you know,
but I do have to tell them the mistake they made was leaving that boy open. What's his name again? I can't think of it.
Grant Williams.
Yep. Leaving them open as much as they did.
The Celtics hit. I mean, that's Bud's defense. I ain't never liked it. The Celtics, I think, hit 110 threes in that series.
Jesus.
You see what I'm saying? So that's enough about that. I don't think Bud's worth it, but that's my opinion. He has a ring now. They probably can't get rid of him. So my Miami Heat boy.
Man, real talk though. I was watching that game as I texted you at halftime yesterday, and I was like, man, they finna lose to the Celtics in the game one at home.
Nah, peep this.
Jimmy Butler. That boy came in and was like, I'm gonna go to the free throw line 18 times. What is it, 18, 19 times?
18.
He said, I ain't finna hit not 1 3.
He was 17. He was 17 for 18 for the line.
I might have 40 points, man.
Oh, he is. Let me just give you some facts right here. 41 points in the playoffs. Didn't hit a 3. 0 for 2 from 3. So it's all mid, bro. Right? Mm-hmm. He was like 41, 5, 5, 3, 3, 3. There's only been one other person to do that in the playoffs. That's LeBron James. Right? A dude came into the bar the other day, a little Boston masshole. Shout out to you if you're watching this, bro. I appreciate the follow and subscribe, but we have to call it what it is. He sat up here and said, Jason Tatum top 5. In the first half, he looked top 5. He said, I know 25 guys better than Jimmy Butler. He ain't a superstar. I can't wait to see you on Thursday, man. You're going to have to eat them words, bro. Bro, he's good in the regular season. He's better in the playoffs. In the last 6 years, he's had 5 40-point games, right? Mm-hmm. All in the playoffs. His 7 best statistical games of his career have all been in the playoffs. Jimmy Butler has a 40-point triple-double in the bubble finals. They have to stop talking about my guy like he's not legit because he go harder than everybody. He has a defensive ceiling too that you can't get off of, and he can go hard because he got a team that's 13 guys deep. So y'all can keep playing with the Heat if you want to. This was a prime example. Now, yes, down Lowry, they was down Marcus Smart and Al Horford. I truly do believe it'll be a different series once they come back. Yeah, but we was down 13. We missed our first 7 shots. We looked rusty. Yeah, we didn't look like we was in sync. PJ Tucker had a little ankle thing for a little minute. The undrafteds wasn't hidden, and still no Duncan Robinson. I don't know where he been at.
They won't play him. He on the bench,
bro.
And then on top of that, I think what was happening with the Heat was the Celtics were still riding off of that Game 7 adrenaline.
Yeah,
coming in there,
they was ready,
smoking. I'm like, damn, they about to blow y'all up. But y'all woke up after halftime, bro. And 39 points in the third quarter.
Yeah, bro. Jason Tatum had 19 points in the first half. It was looking real grim. But in that third quarter, it was one of the best third quarters in the history of basketball, bro. We're the best third quarter team this year, and we showed it. Yeah. They won all 3 quarters except that one. We won that one by 25. We won by 11. So it is what it is. Y'all can keep saying what y'all want to. Jimmy Butler is a superstar. Jimmy Buckets.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to you, brother. I'm about to buy your jersey this week. Because I got the red one. I'm getting the white one because you put that game on them. I like that game, so I'm getting that jersey.
I heard that. Switch gears a little bit, talk about a little racing. I saw that car.
Switch gears. We're gonna switch gears. Yes.
You like that?
Yes, let's switch gears. At the Kansas Speedway.
That thing is a thing of beauty, man. I was like, damn.
Hey, bro, I'm telling you right now.
Jordan over here dominating and everything.
Bro, shout out to the Kansas Speedway right across the street from Children's Mercy Park, Sporting Kansas City.
Okay.
Kurt Busch wins for Jordan 2311 Racing. So Michael Jordan gets his first win as a sponsor. In the 45 car, they had a Elephant 3 print NASCAR, y'all.
I saw
it was, and he had the Elephant 3 suit. He got out of the car with the suit on. Elephant. I'm like, when did this get so fresh? And shout out to my boy Bubba Wallace. You already know, got 10th place. He's trying to get them points, move up the board. But I just thought it was crazy, and it's really shout out to Michael Jordan. I appreciate the crossover culture. Yeah. He got Bubba, he got Kurt Busch. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's cool. That I ain't seen nothing like that my whole life.
Black folks finna start watching that shit now.
Bro, I seen it, bro. I was like, bro, that's tight.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd have never expect, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, is that a Jordan 3 car with a match? I was like, all right, cool. I can get with it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
Is it that time?
America's favorite segment, bro.
Is it that time? Uh-oh.
Looking at my Gucci, it's about that time.
Take them to church. Take them to church.
But before we do that, we're going to pay some bills, aka ties. You know what I'm saying? We got our sponsor, Gold Standard Farms. They always want you to know who they are. Gold Standard Farms LLC is a boutique hemp farm specializing in organic hemp cultivation, seed genetics, R&D, and eco-friendly hemp-based materials. That's Gold Standard Farms, Martin, Tennessee. If you need any information, please contact Mr. Carson Owens. That's Carson with a K.
At goldstandardfarms.com. Go ahead. Who are we taking to church this week?
Oh, one of my favorite athletes, man, to be 1,000 with you. One of my favorite athletes turned analyst.
Hold on, let me pull it up.
Just go ahead and pull it up. The brother, Robert Griffin III, pride of Baylor, former rookie of the year for the Washington football team. I just like that. That's better than commander, so I'll continue to refer him as that. But we'll go ahead and hit this clip so you can see how bad this man is.
The Washington Commanders have surprise Super Bowl contender written all over them. The reason they went and got Carson Wentz is because if he plays like he did last year, they will at least be in playoff contention because it was better than the quarterback play they had last year. But if he can turn the clock back to 2017 where he was an MVP candidate, he can help lead the Washington Commanders on a deep playoff push. They're loaded at wide receiver. Scary Terry. They got a healthy Curtis Samuel and Jaha Dotson that they just drafted from Penn State. And that defensive line, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, that defensive line has to show up. That defense underperformed last year, and because of that, they struggled collectively as a team. But if they can get all those ifs, and it's a lot of ifs to go together, their roster is stacked, and it's the best roster Washington has had in at least the last 10 years.
Did I hear that? Like,
Washington Commanders have surprised.
Hey, bro, though. Shout out to David Woody. Hey, if was a fifth, we all be drunk. And Robert, he might have took a shot to get the nerves off because that brother tripping. He need to tie his shoes up. He straight up said that the Redskins would not have gotten Carson Wentz if they wasn't trying to win a Super Bowl. Bro, I don't know what he's talking about. Like, I'll be 1,000% with you. My mama's side of the family from the DMV. So I got watching football team fans in my family, you know what I'm saying? And I talked to him about it. Yeah, the stuff he said was true. That young D-line does have to show up. That defense does have to hold it down. And yeah, but to ask Carson Wentz to be Carson Wentz of 5 years ago, I feel like that ask is just too much. I don't think that even with the easiest schedule, they still play in the NFC least. I just don't think. Now, what I did see video of is Robert Griffin running like a sub 4.540. So he need to maybe think about getting on the team, maybe to help him out. Because Carson,
what happened? I thought he used to play. What?
Yeah, he was on the Ravens a couple years ago. He was on the Ravens. He was behind Lamar.
And then he just retired?
I think so. They got Huntley behind him now. He's probably a more lateral move if Lamar gets injured. But yeah, RG3 was just in the league. So rumor has it he might be trying to get back. He needs to focus on that. I love the man though. His takes be fire, but you saw. That ain't how I do it. So you already know, man. That's my message today. Let the church say amen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I guess that'll do it for today's episode. Thank you again for joining us. Catch us next week. I believe we're gonna be having our brother Reggie here, man. So we're gonna see how that goes. Should be good fun times. Stay tuned until next week, y'all. Thanks for watching. Hey, more crime, so read me. Hey, more crime, so read me. More crime, so